In 1700, India was 23% of the world's economy, richer than all of Europe combined. By 1947, it was 3%. This is the story of how that happened. In 1615, when the first British ambassador arrived at the Mughal court, he was nobody, a supplicant, begging at the feet of Emperor Jahangir, whose empire stretched from Kabul to Karnataka. Britain, at that point, was a cold, damp island. But within 150 years, a London trading company called the East India Company had built a private army of 260,000 men and started conquering India. Not for king and country, for shareholders. Robert Clive, the man who won the Battle of Plassey in 1757, walked into the treasury of Bengal and later wrote this: "An opulent city lay at my mercy. I walked through vaults piled on either hand with gold and jewels, and I am astonished at my own moderation." He took the equivalent of £23 million on his first trip home, bought a seat in Parliament, named his estate Plassey, and the British called him Clive of India, as if he belonged to the country, when all he did was ensure the country belonged to him. Then came the real destruction. India made the world's finest textiles. Bengal's muslin was so fine, it was called woven air. So the British smashed the looms. They broke the weavers' thumbs so they could never weave again. They slapped 80% tariffs on Indian cloth while flooding India with cheap British factory fabric, duty-free. The British governor Lord Bentinck himself wrote, "The bones of the cotton weavers are bleaching the plains of India." Dhaka, once the center of global muslin trade with a population of several lakhs, collapsed to just 50,000 by the 1820s. An entire city destroyed for British profit. And you know the word loot? It's Hindi. They stole so much from us, they took our word for stealing and put it in their dictionaries. A British official in the 1840s described the system perfectly. "The Englishman flourishes and acts like a sponge, drawing up riches from the banks of the Ganges and squeezing them down upon the banks of the Thames." The economist Utsa Patnaik at Columbia University calculated the total drain from India to Britain over 200 years. $45 trillion. That is 17 times Britain's entire current GDP. Britain's Industrial Revolution, its rise as a global power, all of it, was financed by the systematic bleeding of India. When Tharoor was asked at Oxford what India should demand, he said, £1 a year for 200 years. Not for the money, for the acknowledgement. 23% to 3%. That's not decline, that's extraction.